welcome. You are watching Global Business Report here on News 9 Live. I am Krishna Kumar. We begin with how Wall Street is experiencing a remarkable surge fueled by a slew of exceptionally positive earnings reports. Bear in mind, Wall Street was open for trading, unlike Indian markets, which were closed on occasion of Vijayadashami. Wall Street's robust performance, meanwhile, is setting the financial world abuzz as companies across various sectors reveal impressive profits and growth, and the optimism is palpable as investors eagerly embrace these encouraging financial results. More details in this latest Reuters report.
Wall Street's main indexes ended higher on Tuesday as a string of solid corporate earnings and upbeat forecasts sparked a broad rally. The Dow gained more than 0.6%, the S&P 500 added more than 0.7%, and the Nasdaq climbed over 0.9%. Sam Stovall, chief investment strategist at CFRA Research, credits an easing of the benchmark 10-year Treasury yield after spiking to 5% the day before.
I think investors are of the mindset that maybe this yield has peaked, at least for the near term. Add to that a week in which a third of the companies in the S&P 500 are going to report earnings, and so far so good. The companies that have reported in these first 2 days have come in better than expected, and I think that's setting the tone for the rest of the week.
Reporting after the bell, Alphabet topped quarterly earnings and revenue estimates, but its cloud division missed revenue estimates, sending its shares down more than 4% in after-hours trading. Microsoft, by contrast, beat quarterly estimates in all segments, driven by strength in its cloud computing and PC businesses. Shares climbed more than 3.5% after the close. In other earnings news, Verizon surged more than 9% after raising its annual free cash flow forecast, while General Electric rose 6.5% after the conglomerate lifted its full-year profit forecast. And Coca-Cola hiked its annual sales outlook, sending its stock up nearly 3%, while 3M rose more than 5% on the heels of its upbeat quarterly report.
Away from Wall Street, are digital currencies and bitcoins funding terror? This question has been asked many a time, but take a look at this latest Reuters report for a detailed analysis of how Bitcoin could possibly be funding terror. Take a look.
There has been a lot of focus on how crypto is used to fund terrorist organizations and militant groups. So since the Palestinian militant group Hamas launched an attack on Israel at the start of October, the role of crypto in funding militant groups and terror organizations has really come into the spotlight. Hamas itself has been known to raise money via cryptocurrencies. Over the past few weeks, the Israelis have frozen several cryptocurrency wallets it said were linked to Hamas. Many people say that crypto is an extremely useful tool for these kind of organizations. It's largely anonymous. The money that anyone sends over the blockchain, that's the technology that underpins cryptocurrency, is usually just identified by a string of letters and numbers. It's difficult to track, and this means that for militant groups or terrorists seeking to raise money, crypto has become a very popular tool. Now, it's not completely anonymous. Cryptocurrency companies, that means exchanges, as well as law enforcement organizations, can actually work out who is sending the money, but it takes a bit of work for them to do that. The United Nations officials said in 2022 that about 5% of terror attacks were considered to be financed by cryptocurrencies. A variety of cryptocurrencies are known to be used by terrorist groups and militant groups to raise funds. That said, while Bitcoin is popular, stablecoins, that's a type of cryptocurrency that's designed to keep a very steady value, have become more popular in recent years. There are also a number of other sources that these groups use to raise funds. That's anything from charities, shell companies, investments overseas to also raise funds. So crypto is definitely part of the mix, but it's very difficult to say exactly what proportion.
Keeping it with that Israel-Hamas war, the MTV Europe Music Awards, a highly anticipated event in the world of music, have now been cancelled amidst the ongoing Israel-Hamas war, and the cancellation of such a high-profile and much anticipated event is a reflection of the gravity of the situation in the region and what it means to the world. Tensions have been mounting, with a series of conflicts and geopolitical concerns causing significant unrest and uncertainty. And MTV Europe Music Awards is an event that typically brings artists, fans and music enthusiasts together from around the world, celebrating the diverse and vibrant music scene, and is not only a stage for recognition but also an occasion for artists to voice their opinions on global issues. Take a look at this latest Reuters report.
Is as remarkable as she is in real life. Camera. Get in the front in the checkpoint.
So all of those visuals were from the MTV Awards of 2022, and it won't happen for the year 2023. But keeping it with entertainment and lifestyle, in a remarkable turn of events in the world of luxury fashion, Hermes, the renowned French luxury brand, is defying the prevailing gloom in the high-end luxury market. Here is the latest on how Hermes is experiencing surging sales despite economic uncertainties and what this phenomenon reveals about the evolving dynamics of the luxury market. Take a look.
Sales at Hermes surged in the third quarter, beating expectations and outshining rivals. Despite economic headwinds, wealthy clientele continue to splurge on the brand's high-end Birkin handbags. Sales for the 3 months to the end of September stood at an analyst-beating $3.6 billion and rose briskly in all regions, particularly the US. Analysts have cut their estimates for the luxury sector following a sales report from bellwether LVMH that showed shoppers aren't splashing out as much as inflation and economic uncertainty rise. But Hermes has a reputation for weathering economic turbulence better than rivals. That's because it caters to shoppers who can afford items like the much-coveted $10,000 plus Birkin bag. The brand said sales in the Americas rose 20%, despite smaller price hikes than in other parts of the world, with no sign of a slowdown in spending by tourists. Hermes has raised prices by around 7% this year globally to account for higher production costs. The only exceptions were the US, which saw around a 3% increase, and Japan, where price rises were in double digits due to currency fluctuations.
And on that luxurious note, we wrap up this edition of Global Business Report. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.
With all this gear, you must be wondering if I'm climbing a mountain. Well, let me